Hello, friends, and welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, once again rocking a Kashiyama suit. They are the sponsors of today's show. We got news for you guys, fresh off the Cowboys win over the Giants. We begin with the only really major injury update that came out of the game. That is Jeff Heath. He needed not one, not two, not three. I can't even count the side. 12 stitches for a cut near his knee. He suffered that on the second half kickoff, a potentially touchdown-saving play Heath made on that. Darian Thompson came in, and Darian Thompson actually fared, once again, pretty well with Jeff Heath out for the Cowboys. 3 tackles, had a nice pass breakup, and also had that fumble recovery when Xavier Woods knocked it loose. So I would assume Jeff Heath's going to be good to go next week. We'll see. A big cut near your knee, I'm sure it makes it difficult to run, so that's why he did not return to the game. But we'll see what happens there with Heath. If he is out, Darian Thompson, once again, is the next man up at strong safety for the Dallas Cowboys. We are approaching 50K subs on the channel. If you haven't subscribed, let's do it already. YouTube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. But I want to know from you, once we hit that figure, what should I do? Put it in the comment section what you guys want me to do once we reach that 50K mark here on the channel. I have veto power, but I am open to your ideas, so get those going for me in the comments. Producer Brett's back there giving me this. I have veto power. I'm not shaving my head, for example. Now, some good news here. We did it! Jourdan Lewis has been freed. Let's celebrate, crack one open here. That's mediocre at best. It is coconut rye stout. Yeah. The aftertaste is like 3-day-old coffee. So I'm gonna put that there, but we did it! We freed Jourdan Lewis! He got the start at nickel corner over Anthony Brown, and this is a surprise to literally nobody, I guess, except the coaching staff. He's really good. God, that's terrible. Lewis has had, by the way, it's a great stat here, has had at least 1 tackle for loss, pass breakup, or a takeaway, be it a forced fumble, interception, fumble recovery, whatever, in each of the game he's played at least half the snaps. I know he's undersized, but look at the results you get. The Cowboys are a better defense when Jourdan Lewis is on the field. So Jourdan Lewis has been freed. He is now over Anthony Brown. He hopefully is the Cowboys nickel corner the rest of his time in Dallas, and he was good. 6 tackles, had the the fumble recovery, which became a touchdown, and a nice scoop and score there to punctuate the Cowboys' win over the New York Football Giants, and probably swung quite a few fantasy football matches as well, because that defensive touchdown is pretty big. However, when it comes to Jourdan Lewis, Free Jourdan was a success, so we need a new hashtag for him. So here's what it is. It is now hashtag Keep Jourdan Free. Spam it for me in the comment section. I don't want to ever have to go back to Free Jourdan or Free Jourdan again. We are keeping Jourdan free. Use that hashtag going forward. Keep Jourdan free. It's a great time to be a Jourdan Lewis stan here on the Cowboys Report. Let's move on now to Amari Cooper. Now, this isn't a huge surprise here. Cooper said he preferred to wait until after the season is over to get a new contract. That's not much of a surprise because contract talks have been, well, pretty much non-existent so far. They've been very, very quiet, and I think it makes a lot of sense for Amari, right? He knows, he's not stupid, he knows that the longer a player waits, as long as they play well, the more they get paid. If you wait to the last second to sign your contract extension, you're going to get quite a bit of money. And Cooper's play this year has been really good. 42 catches. He did miss one game, or most of one game, I should say. 701 yards, 6 touchdown passes. He's gonna surpass 1,000 yards, I would say, fairly easily this season. Now, the big question here is what the overall money ends up looking like. I think your baseline extension is $18 million. And he'll probably push for 19 because typically, if not 20, because typically the most recent guy ends up getting the biggest contract. I don't think he gets 22, but if he hits the open market, I mean, there's going to be a bidding war for him. That's just the reality. I mean, imagine Amari Cooper on the 49ers who have some money to spend, and they could use some receiver if they lose Emmanuel Sanders in free agency. So the Cowboys, they can have potentially 2 franchise tags, or 2 tags, the franchise tag and the transition tag, depending on if there's no new CBA. It's a weird quirk I've mentioned before. So who signs first? Type D for Dak and type C for Amari Cooper. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I think both of them re-sign at some point before free agency begins, or at least they're tagged and then re-signed at some point. They're both going to get paid, and I'm on board with paying both of them. So type D for Dak, C for Cooper. I'm going to go with Dak Prescott because I think when push comes to shove late in the negotiation process, Dak Prescott, his agents want to get in the bag. Dak will eventually say, guys, let's just get this done. I've got enough money here in the end. I want to stay in Dallas. I'm going to go with my D for Dak in the comments section. Now, today's show is brought to you by Kashiyama. Go get your own custom-fitted suit. Put yourself up for a free fitting by emailing dallas@kashiyama1927.com. Oh, by the way, we are still doing the giveaway. If you want a custom suit sports jacket like this one, go follow them on Instagram @Kashiyama Tailors. And if you win or don't win, you can find one of your own. These start at $300. You're not going to find a better custom-fitted sports coat than the ones from Kashiyama. The same prices as those other major chains, but they're way better. They're way better quality, and they're about the same price. It's dallas@Kashiyama1927.com. Email them. They'll get you hooked up. The run defense, back to defense here for the Cowboys, has been maligned, and understandably so. That was not the case, though, against the New York not-so-good-at-football Giants. Now, they did definitely allow too many yards on the ground for Daniel Jones. 54 rushing yards, almost all of them coming on read options. The Cowboys have never been that good about stopping the read option, but I'll give Daniel Jones 54 yards if it means Saquon Barkley gets 2 yards per carry. Beyond a screen pass, Saquon Barkley was totally shut down. I will take this every single game from my run defense. Now, does some of the blame go to the Giants? Of course. I didn't really like their coaching staff all that much, their game plan and their play calling. But if you can hold one of the most dynamic backs in the NFL to 2 yards per carry, I know that the screen kind of is not great, and there was a reverse to Golden Tate, but the run defense was better, especially against Saquon Barkley. That's a big deal for me. That's a very promising sign for the Cowboys as they move forward into the real meat of their schedule and they make a playoff push. Speaking of running backs, how about Tony Pollard, who got his first targets in the passing game since week 3? That's weird, right? That's a weird stat, but that's where we're at. The problem for Tony Pollard is that could have been a big game for him. Instead, just ends up being a game where he got some targets and got some snaps. He had the wheel route. These are back-to-back plays, by the way. The wheel route, normally undefeated. Pollard just kind of lost the ball, never really had a good eye on it, and maybe it could have been caught had he had a better feel for where that ball was going. And then most importantly, that screen pass. The numbers were in the Cowboys' favor. I'll tweet out the all-22 once we get it. That could have been 6. And Pollard, I think, knew it too because he turned his head well before he had the football in his hands. And that's what ended up hurting him on that one. So I like the usage for Pollard, but those mistakes, they hurt. 4 touches in this one. Really should have been 5, maybe even 6, and he had 0 touchdowns in that game. But overall, it was a good but not quite great showing for Tony Pollard. Could have been so much better. The snap counts, though, for Tony Pollard, that's a good indication of his usage. 22, 16, and 23 for those first couple of games in the season. That's a promising sign. But then the dip, and there is a correlation there, not causation, but correlation. 2-5-7 games the Cowboys lost. The Cowboys are undefeated when Tony Pollard gets double-digit snaps. This is all offense, by the way. Undefeated. Now, there is some correlation, causation not correlating there because, when the game's up big, they pull Zeke out. But the Giants and Eagles, a lot of those snaps came when it was still fairly close. That's a good sign for me. I want to use Tony Pollard not as a Zeke replacement, but as a Zeke Elliott complement. So how many snaps per game do you think Tony Pollard should have? Let me know in the comments section. I think around 15 is about right, maybe a little bit less. You kind of want to average out to about 15 because there will be some games where you use him a little bit more, some games a little bit less, and maybe if you get it way bigger if it's a blowout game. I don't think there'll be too many of those, I think, down the stretch given the strength of schedule the Cowboys have to go up against. But I don't want the 2 snaps games like we saw against the Saints. I want to utilize him. Of course, This is the same people the Cowboys who told you 30 snaps per game for Tony Pollard, only 25 per game for Jason Witten, two dozen touches for Tavon Austin, and they just don't really have a great feel for how many snaps and touches players actually get per game. Today's show also brought to you guys by BetDSI. Maybe you won some money betting on the Cowboys against the Giants. That over hit on that last-second touchdown by Jourdan Lewis. It's chatsports.com/bet takes you right into the BetDSI site to sign up. Use that promo code Cowboys120 when you sign up and deposit. It will get you a 120% deposit bonus. So you put down $50, extra $60 for maybe you can bet on the Cowboys to win the NFC East. The odds on BetDSI there still pretty favorable because it's close right now between the Cowboys and Philadelphia. Just don't waste your money betting on the Giants or Redskins. That's just a terrible, terrible idea. One last note here on Jamal Adams. Many of you asked about it during our live watch party. I figured we'd go over it one more time. The Jets leaked that they wanted Zack Martin or Tyron Smith from the Cowboys. I don't believe it. I do not believe that report. Now, it came out on Sunday morning in that classic NFL ESPN Sunday morning news dump. I find it incredibly unlikely that nobody in Dallas or New York heard what the Jets originally asked for Jamal Adams. I don't believe that. The Cowboys would have leaked that because that would have made it clear, hey, we're not going to get Jamal Adams. I think the Jets leaked this as spin control. Because Jamal Adams is big mad. He big mad at the New York Jets for even considering shopping him. So they're like, well, yes, we did it, but we wanted Zack Martin and Tyron Smith, some of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. That's how we value you, Jamal. Which I think the Jets are spinning it because they know they're in a rough space with Jamal Adams, who a pretty good chance I think gets dealt in the offseason. Now, the report also said this was the final offer the Cowboys made for Jamal Adams, a 2020 first, and cornerback Anthony Brown. Not surprised the Jets said no to that one. There's been buzz that an unknown third team, because the rule of the NFL, whenever there is trade talks or free agency interest, there's always at least three. It's never just two or one. There's always at least three teams in the mix, even though that third team is almost never identified. That's just how things work because there's always people trying to drum up more interest in a player. But the Jamal Adams rumors are simply not going to go away in the offseason. They'll be there until Jamal Adams signs an extension or is traded to a new team. So will Jamal Adams be on the Cowboys in 2020? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Type Y for yes and N for no. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.